So I'm Will, one of the business development managers here at Thrive, and I'm joined by Laura House. Would you like to introduce yourself?
Yes, hello, I'm Laura House. I work as a senior L&D partner for Brakes, and we're a UK food and drinks distribution business that are owned by Cisco.
Lovely, thank you very much. So thank you everybody for joining so far. As a bit of an agenda, so we're going to keep this quite open and conversational. I've got the questions in the chat open here on another screen, so if you've got any questions throughout, send them through and we'll try our best to answer them. As I mentioned, the session is recorded, so we'll be passing that out on LinkedIn later on today. So today, myself and Laura are just going to be having a chat and introducing you to Thrive and how they're utilising Thrive to communicate with their workforce in these strange times, I guess. And also sort of as a wider tool for their organisation, hopefully after these times. So to provide a bit of background about Thrive and Brakes relationship really, Thrive were introduced to Brakes in 2019, February 2019 at Learning Tech. So it wasn't yourself that I met, Laura, I met some of your colleagues. As all organisations do at Learning Tech, we've got lots of things to try and lure people in. We had a barista who could make you any type of drink that you wanted. We even had what's called a sort of tornado machine where wind gets whirled around and you have to grab balls. But the one thing that caught your colleagues' eyes, Laura, and I'm not sure what this says about your colleagues, but we had some fluffy ducks on the stand and they wanted to come across and get a fluffy duck.
That's right, yes, and it's still a fond favourite within Amy's family home now.
So the fluffy duck worked. Your team came across the stand. I guess they were looking for a new learning platform to replace a wider platform that was delivered by the Cisco group. They weren't specifically looking for a learning experience platform. They were just looking for a platform which can re-engage their learners. They were able to do the mandatory side of things, but they also wanted the social and the collaborative functionality within the platform as well. Then a few months later, in around about June, I think it was, Brakes made in my opinion, great option to go ahead with Thrive. And I think at that point, it was when you joined the organisation to sort of try and boost the impact of the platform, really, I guess.
Yeah, so shortly after that, my role was created in order to kind of support the launch, the getting ready and the ongoing management of Thrive. So my role was part of a restructure of the L&D team anyway. They needed somebody to support the central functions, but also somebody with some experience within using learning management systems, and that's something that I brought with me.
Awesome, brilliant. So yeah, initially you launched the platform out to around about 3,000 learners. That was across the contact centres and the wider commercial team. And then you've made some initial changes over the past few weeks, really. So why don't we start off by, if you could explain why you went ahead with the learning experience platform, conscious that you weren't there during the decision, but from you and your team members, why you chose a learning experience platform and maybe why Thrive?
Yeah. So as you say, I wasn't around when we sourced the platform, but the team were looking for something that was engaging, intuitive, that increased the accessibility for colleague development, and by that we meant all colleagues. So regardless of whether a colleague would be interested in a training session, for example, ensuring that there was something that was available to everybody. And we also wanted to enhance the social aspects of a learning culture as well. And a lot of the standard or the old LMSs don't offer that functionality in order for people to collaborate, share their ideas, comment and share content with each other. So this was the perfect platform for us.
Brilliant, awesome. And so now with this current climate that we've got at the moment, pretty much everybody's now had to move to working from home. What's changed for you? What have you had to do differently on the platform? But what's happened there?
Yeah, so as you mentioned, we were merrily going along with our phased rollouts. So we initially launched to our contact centre colleagues, approximately 600 people, which went very well. I think we got 75% engagement within the first week, so it was fantastic.
Brilliant.
And we were overwhelmed at how easily people picked up the functionality, started sharing, adding comments. We thought that would take a lot of work for us to start getting people to do that, but they just instantly picked it up. Which then got the rest of the commercial function interested, because they don't like to be left out, our sales colleagues. So they got very, very interested, and we agreed a wider rollout to the rest of the commercial function, which was another 600 people around the 16th of March. Then all of this happened, and a lot of our colleagues were then working from home, which made our decision very, very easy based on those two initial rollouts, and the great feedback we received made it very easy for us to say, let's just fast track the rollout to the rest of our central function colleagues and our operational online colleagues as well. So we're now at 3,000 users a month on. So
brilliant.
Yeah,
that's great stuff. So thank you very much. That was a really thorough introduction. So thank you so much. So I think you're sharing your screen with everybody, not just myself.
Yep.
So why don't we dive into the platform and show everybody a few of the things that you're doing to reach out to your now working from home audience.
Yeah, so we appreciate that these are unprecedented times, hence our brand new banner across the top there. But in terms of curating content for colleagues that they will find useful right now, Thrive, or Athena as we've named it internally, the goddess of wisdom, we have been curating some pathways for colleagues to navigate through that kind of touch on the key areas that people need to do differently or work differently or take note of in these very challenging times. So the first one here is leading others through unprecedented change, unprecedented times, so largely aimed at our manager populations. And you can see here that this pathway contains leading others through unprecedented times, and we've got some video content in there. We also put on some coaching sessions for our leaders so they could book onto one-to-one coaching sessions. Then we've got working remotely. We've got all important teams in there, and one of the Thrive modules around using email effectively. Leading remote teams. So we found some fantastic articles out there. We're getting emailed daily by many, many organisations with great content that we can utilise. Personal resilience. We found some great TED Talks on personal resilience. Health and well-being. So we're very conscious that people need to look after themselves when they're working from home. So some top tips and some CIPD guidance for managers as well. And then some information. So for those curious around COVID-19 and the human skills we need in unprecedented times, there's a couple of fantastic TED Talks that we've been using for our leaders.
Brilliant, that's awesome.
And the colleague one, living through unprecedented times, follows a very similar pattern. Some of the content is duplicated because it's good content for both audiences.
Yeah.
But living through unprecedented times, working remotely, resilience again, health and well-being, and information.
Brilliant. And all of those different sort of pathways there, are they all lots of different types of content that you've just sort of pulled in either from the web or from content providers?
Yes. So we mentioned there that some content has come from you guys, some fantastic stuff that's come out recently, especially around health and well-being that you already had available that we've been able to tag into. There's lots of TED Talks, there's lots of information coming through on email, articles on places like Forbes. So we've been able to pull all that together into a nice, easy to navigate way. Not only that, tailoring to different learning styles. So some people would much prefer to read an article than they would to watch a 16-minute video. I'm the other way round, but but people learn in different ways. So we've tried to create that variety in the content that we've uploaded.
Brilliant. I'm sure the learners appreciate that. Not everybody wants to either watch videos or just watch PDFs. They want to have a mix of different stuff. So it's great that you're offering that to the learners. Brilliant. And in terms of feedback, I noticed that pathway has only been pushed out a couple of days ago.
Yep.
Have you got any feedback initially on these, or maybe just wider in terms of the wider platform?
Yeah, so it's as I say, it's fairly new. We pushed the platform out to the wider audience 4 days ago, but already we've had lots of positive comments about the content that we've made available. We've also we have a One Brakes Facebook page, so we've been pushing stuff out via there and signposting people to Athena. So yeah, we've had some great comments about the usability. So much so I put an Athena webinar on and nobody booked onto it because it's so easy to use. So fantastic.
Oh, that's really great to hear. Brilliant. Yeah. Great. Is there anything else on the platform that might be worth showing?
It might be worth showing how we've, I know we've set up our discovery area slightly differently to some of the other clients. So we've opted for more of a category type menu, so people can navigate through via the subject area that they're interested in. And we anything that we've got from Thrive or Get Abstract, we've made sure that we've maximised on that content because it's really great stuff and often less than 10 minutes, which at this point is just brilliant for people to just dip in and out, learn quick new skills while they're on the go and responding to this unprecedented change.
Yeah, that's absolutely fair. Brilliant, thank you. We've had a question come here, which is quite appropriate, really. So it's around mental health. Obviously, people are now working in different environments. Working from home might be quite isolated with the isolation rules. The question is, how are you sort of dealing with people's mental health? Have you got any content that you're pushing out to them to help with that at all?
Yeah, so we've actually had a mental health or well-being area in the personal effectiveness section of our site anyway, which contains lots of great stuff around well-being. So there's lots of TED Talks, there's all the great stuff from you guys, and we also have wellness library within the Get Abstract area.
Brilliant.
And then we've also featured that in the unprecedented times pathways by ensuring that health and well-being is signposted as something that's really critical right now. So we've ensured that that's in both the colleague and the leader pathway to signpost that we do need to look after ourselves.
100%. That's brilliant. There's loads of content there. So like you say, it's just if people are looking for that content, they can just go there and explore it themselves. There's no restrictions. They can just get it as and when they want to.
Yeah, and it's been a great way for us to signpost LifeWorks, so our employee wellbeing support service. So it's just been great in terms of sharing that information as well, that not everybody is aware that we have available to us.
Awesome. And what about interactions? How are you allowing your colleagues to speak to one another when they're working remotely?
Yeah, so as a business, we are utilising the likes of Teams as and when it's working. I know the network is struggling slightly at the moment as we're all at home, and we try and switch on video. So us as a team, as an L&D team, have been getting together for the daily L&D Love-In at 8:30 in the morning before everybody starts. And today we did Through the Keyhole. So we all took pictures of our homes, and we tried to create a bit of fun this morning, and we are encouraging people to so we'll be posting some ideas on the communication section of the 2 pathways around how to have like virtual coffee breaks and things like that, so that people can keep in touch with their teams in a less formal way than just ringing about work.
Yeah, that's nice. Brilliant. And then in terms of on the platform, are you able to show some examples of where learners have interacted with each other on the platform at all, or sharing content with one another?
Yeah, so there's been lots of situations where, our commercial director, for example, The minute people are told to work from home, he went straight in, got the team's content and forwarded it to his directorate teams. So our directors are, you know, they're completely pioneering the way that we should all be working in terms of socializing on this platform. And there's been a lot of likes and shares from other colleagues in terms of sharing some of the content that they found particularly useful. And the comments have just been so positive. We you know, you're always a bit nervous, aren't you, about leaving comments on, but everyone has been super positive about the stuff that they've read or accessed and how useful they've been finding it. So really good.
Perfect. So we just had a question here saying, hey both, please can you share a little demo of the Thrive content, perhaps some of the well-being modules to see what it looks like?
Yeah, of course. Let's have a look at mental health, saying the right thing. So this is a short video. I'll turn the sound off. So a short video that colleagues can watch around saying the right thing to other colleagues that you might be worried about. Again, really short, really simple. You don't need the sound to watch it, which is another good thing with our operational colleagues.
Yeah. I think what I think is great about our content is the fact that they're no more than 10 minutes long, they're short, they're punchy, people can go in, get the knowledge they need, and come out again and get on with their daily lives. And it's really great that you've just got the content on the platform for people to just go and explore and find whenever they need it.
Yep.
So I think that's really great. So thank you very much for that question there. Have you got any other examples at all, Laura?
Yeah, let me go back. There's lots of Thrive content in the wellbeing section.
Great stuff. Another question here, so I'll do that after we've had a look at this mental health module.
So this is one of the modules.
So just as a bit of context for everybody watching, so all of Thrive modules, they start off with an introductory animation, I guess just to set the scene and let the learners know what they're letting themselves in for. And then they go through into the module itself where you can learn more information about the particular subject. But as I mentioned, they're no more than 10 minutes long, so they really get to the point and can give you the information that you need. And they've all got individual and bespoke branding, so each module has got a relevance theme for the actual subject, so they really hit home. Yeah. We've had another question come up here, Laura, and it's a simple one. How do you come up with new ideas for content? What drives the sort of content on the platform?
So at the moment, the current situation, but normally we are driven by business need, and our customers, our colleagues are very good at telling us what they're looking for. Before we launched the platform, we did have a general consensus from colleagues that technology was quite a big area that they wanted us to focus on. So we did trawl the internet, and we found some great videos from Microsoft and GCF Learn that we could just pull into the site, and they sit on the page brilliantly, just like one of the TED Talks do. They play within the screen, and you haven't got to go off. And they break them down into little modular sections as well. So again, no more than three to 5 minutes. And you can hone in on a specific skill that you want to do within that section. So really useful stuff. But yeah, we're largely driven by what colleagues tell us that they need, and we go out and either look for it or we create it internally. Perfect,
that's awesome. Thank you, Laura. Another question, they're coming through thick and fast. Someone's asked in terms of pushing content out to learners, so in different audiences. So you mentioned that you've got different types of audiences on the platform in the call centres and also the commercial team. Yep. How is it that you push content out? Is it via the front page, or is it sort of specifically in the back end?
Yeah, so we've used a variety of ways up to now. So we've done email campaigns outside of Athena because it's so new to our business. We didn't want people to just delete that email, not knowing what it was. So we have done an email campaign. We have also used the campaign banner up front. So I know when our contact centres launched, for example, they had 2 pieces of content they released within the first week, which was around meet their team. And also they did like a video tour of one of their offices, where you could go around the office and kind of find where the canteen is and find where this team sits and all of that kind of great stuff. And that got people really engaged with the system in the early days. And what we've also done is used the assignment content. So through audiences, you can physically assign content if it's got a completion date next to it. So we're doing a lot of work with coaches and mentors at the moment, and creating a bank of coaches and mentors within the business.
Brilliant.
So we pushed out some mentoring modules for them to do within the month, in order to then sign up to become one of our mentors.
Lovely. Is it all right if we just show everybody your front page and scroll through a few examples there?
Of course, of course.
So at the top you've got the banner. Have you got any content associated with the campaign, sorry, underneath there?
No, we haven't. What we've done is we've pinned it to the highlights because we
Brilliant.
only launched 4 days ago. What we didn't want to do is just send a short email to people. We wanted to provide the context, but we will be adding to the campaign going forward.
Lovely.
And would you like to see the contact center content when they launched?
That'd be
So
lovely.
they had the DECIEM contact center tour, which kind of walks you through. So they've done it as a video/e module. So it started me part way through. So it brings you to some questions at the end, unfortunately. Let me show you the video. Yeah. There we go. So they've done a short video on who their team members are, and they used a free app to download to create this video.
That's brilliant. It's just a different type of content, isn't it? Just like making sure that you're pushing different types of content to different learners all the time, so it keeps it fresh and keeps it engaging.
Yeah.
What a great way to meet the team, I guess.
Yeah.
Brilliant. We have had a question. Can you walk us through how you've organised the Discover page? Curious about the food channel.
Yes. So being a food business, food is very important to us. So we've actually got a food engagement section. So every 6 months, we as a business host massive food engagement events with our suppliers, to kind of share with our sales force all of the great products that we have available. And what we've done is we've filmed some of that content. So if colleagues join us partway through the year, or they just want to refresh on particular products, then they can go back to the food engagement videos at any point to access those. So this is the spring and summer collection. So we've got some market insight videos and some category videos. So Christmas is a key feature. We've got coffee shop, we've got desserts, got fish and seafood. So yeah, each of those contains a video talking about those product areas and kind of upskilling our colleagues on how to sell them.
That's a dangerous learning pathway. I could spend
hours
watching this video.
Don't do it about lunchtime.
Another question is asking about the social functionality of Thrive. So how can learners communicate with each other on the platform, I guess?
Yeah, so a lot of colleagues are using the comment functionality, so being able to comment on a piece of content that they've found useful, just sharing their views with colleagues on what they thought of it. Some managers have gone in and said, I think all teams need to do this and work out their ways of working. So yeah, lots of people sharing their views that way. And then there's also the share functionality, so being able to physically share a piece of content with colleagues, either by name or whole teams. And managers can do that immediately to their teams really quickly at the click of a button, and just share that with colleagues straight away. And it not only notifies them in Athena, but if you choose to do so, you can email them a little message as well, to say, I found this really useful, why don't you check it out? So yeah, lots of people using the share functionality.
Awesome. Without actually doing it, because I wouldn't want any of your colleagues to get some random messages, but would you mind showing an example of that?
Of course, of course. So very similar to other social platforms, you click on the arrow button here and it'll open up a little box. And if I type in a colleague's name, and then can type her a little message. Hi, Wendy. And then
pressure.
Click share. And clicking share will automatically send her an email and also put a little notification up in the bell at the top.
Brilliant.
Like you say, I won't do that though, because Wendy's always got my shares.
She's always got notifications.
Yeah.
That's brilliant. So we had a question around user-generated content. Has there been much user-generated content since you launched?
Yeah.
Yeah, go on.
Yeah, so we haven't switched user-generated content on purely because as a business, we've not had an LMS before. So we wanted to get people used to what an LMS is, what it's used for, and what's available to them. What we have done, however, through everything that we're campaigning is we are encouraging people to send stuff into us. And we've had, in the 4 days that we've launched to the rest of the business, we've had lots of contributions in terms of TED Talks or books that people have found useful that we've added to the site subsequently.
Brilliant, that's great. And have you, so questioning straight away, could you explain why configurable? Good to explain why we have that as configurable. Well, smart. Okay, that's fine. Yeah, lovely. So they're just sort of thank you very much for that. So yeah, and from my point of view, what's next for the platform? What are you planning on doing?
Yeah, so what's next for us is, as an L&D team, we are looking at a way of making our Leadership Essentials journey more virtual so we can continue to deliver that in these unprecedented times. But more so for Athena and using that as part of the tool, because it's a blended learning program. We also have e-modules and kind of toolkits that managers can access afterwards. So using Athena is going to be a great way for us to get people engaged and using the site going forward. In terms of the rest of the business, so we've launched to everyone apart from our offline operational colleagues at the moment. Based on what we're going through, I don't think they're in a position to take on this tool on top of everything else that they're doing, supporting our supermarkets to get food on the shelves. But we will be revisiting that and ensuring that all colleagues have access. At the moment, we focused on our online colleagues who are, like many of us, working from home at the moment.
That's absolutely fair. Thank you very much. Okie dokie. So we're coming up to the half an hour mark. So I guess if there's any other questions, we're more than happy to answer them now. As I mentioned at the start, the session is recorded and we'll be pushing this out over LinkedIn over the next couple of days. So you're welcome to share that with any colleagues that you want to. Just give you a couple of minutes to see if there's any other questions come through. I think that might be everything.
Okay.
Bill, so Laura, thank you so much for giving us a bit of a tour of how you're helping all of your learners within this current climate and going forward. It's great how you're using the platform. Really big fan of it. So thank you very much for taking the time to speak with us. Anything else from yourself at all, Laura?
No, thanks very much for having me. And if anyone's got any questions, I'm more than happy for anyone to reach out to me. I am actually Laura Seeley on LinkedIn because I got married just before